In today's video, I'll speak about my current AFL fantasy team pre the AAMI Community Series. Really enjoyed playing fantasy last year. It was my first year playing, but been playing Supercoach for ages now, so still got some ideas of which players are any good and whatnot. But nonetheless, really excited for this year. Going to take it seriously and hopefully rank well. So, been listening to some of Moreira's magic. And trying to learn the game off him, basically, off his podcast and stuff like that. So fingers crossed, do well this year, and see how we go. So I guess we're starting my defense. So I don't have Jake Lloyd. I owned him last year, paid top dollar at the start of the year, which was a really bad mistake. So look, last year I had him, he was in the low to mid 700s for most of the year, I felt. And for me, I don't really want to pay $8.20 for that. Cash is king in this game, I think. So, not making that mistake again. But I guess he comes with built-in durability and, reliable. Like, you're not going to need to trade him out. He's going to be top 6. So I guess there's value in that. I guess you could make a strong case for starting him. But I don't see the upside that others might see in him. Maybe a few points, but not enough to make me really want to lock him in. For the time being, Whitfield and Dawson I have. Whitfield has durability issues, I know, but huge upside in full preseason. He's high ownership too. So last time he had a full preseason, 2019, I think he went absolutely berserk at the start of the year, and I don't really want to deal with that. So playing out of fear, which isn't great, I guess, but at the same time, just would rather have him than not with his ownership and his ceiling. So happy to have Whitfield. Jordan Dawson's an interesting one. So listening to Dawson, he turned up to the Crows and, he straight away, he wanted to be an inside mid. A lot of people assumed he was going to be wing, maybe half forward. He's a midfielder. He came up, he had an interview the other day saying, I want to be like Petrarch and Oliver. I want to be the best midfielder in the league. So when you hear stuff like that, awesome. That's what you want to hear. Riley O'Brien said he was blown away with some of the stuff he was doing at training, inside and outside. So 750k upside because he played halfback at the start of last year, moved on a wing and scored, I think he averaged about 100. So look, 95 plus, I'll take that for his price. So a fair bit cheaper, save about 80k on Lloyd. So happy to pick Dawson and excited to see him. Excited to get a bit more info on what his role is exactly in the preseason, but big fan of Dawson. So the next two I have are Sicily and George Hewitt. I don't know about these two, to be honest. Hewitt I think will be good for Supercoach, but for fantasy doesn't seem to accumulate enough. But for his price, I think he can go somewhere in the 80s, which I think is okay for his price. He'll get a lot more CBAs than he did last year because even in the back half of last year, I think he averaged high 70s, but the problem was there were a few games in there where he was getting very low CBAs. So had a good final series, 300s in the finals, I think, something like that. So they're impressed with him, and he has a good role. So I don't think he's a keeper, but one that will make a bit of money, which will be nice. And then Sicily, see if he gets kickouts. I think everyone's picking him roughly at this stage, but I wouldn't blame you if you don't want to pick him. He might be a bit frustrating. And then the two rookies, Kadeen Coleman, Josh Sin. Again, Kadeen's probably better for Supercoach, but apparently he's improved dramatically over the preseason. So see how he goes, but I think he'll lock down that halfback role. And Sin looked good in the intra-club, which was pretty good to see. So from what I saw, I think he's fieldable. And if not, hopefully O'Driscoll plays round 1, and I'd be happy to field him. And then the rookies, see which ones we get. At the moment, I'm pretty sure we get Dean, and I assume Hamling's best 22. So not going to score super well, but I think this season we're in a bit of trouble for base price rookies. I've never seen less available or less likely to play than in previous years. So really worried about that. So if I need to, I'm happy to pay a little bit on the bench just for, long term. They'll make more money in the long run, so I'm happy to do that. So in the midfield, Steele and Mitchell, probably my two anchors in the midfield, and I think I wouldn't really want to go less than one midfielder, although it sounds like previous winning teams have gone without one. Less than, or yeah, just the one rather. But for me, I guess it's hard to argue with people that have won. So it sounds stupid to argue against that, but I like captain and vice captain, and I think they both have a bit of upside. So happy to lock those two in. Don't mind McRae with his early fixture. So maybe you go Mitchell over McRae, McRae over Mitchell. I'm not too sure. So with Mitchell, I think his CBAs could be in the 60s this year. I think they'll start him on the flank and the wing a lot more often. Sam Mitchell probably wants to get as much midfield minutes into his young midfield future. So yeah, slightly worrying, but nonetheless, he's Tom Mitchell. He'll find the pill no matter what. And then Lachie Neale, a bit underpriced, good preseason. Lock him in for now. Pat Lip, I'm a big fan of Pat Lip. 2019, I think he was 85 average on 19% CBAs, and that's enough for me. The only question with Pat Lipinski is how does he go getting inside mid minutes at AFL level? I watched him in the intra club, but he was good. Nothing special, but did accumulate pretty well. Has a massive work rate, huge. One of the fittest dudes in the league. Whoever was on him could not run with him because he was on his own far too often. So yeah, he's locked. Pretty high on Lipinski. I think he can go 95 to 105, somewhere in that range. So see how he goes. Dogs mids, trained with the Dogs mids, and they're the best mids. So that's that. We got Matt Rao. Having full preseason, good reports on him. Look, I think, what do you need at his price? 80? Something like that? 75, 80? I don't know. I think he can do that easily. But he must put up big numbers in the preseason game and look really good. Otherwise, he's out. Will Phillips, impressing in the preseason, was pick 3 last year. And yeah, I think he had 25 touches in the intra club, so it looked okay. See his CBAs, yeah, not sold on Phillips just yet, but I had the money remaining. I wanted this to be Cordwell, but I couldn't get to him with money, and his durability is just one of the worst in the league for soft tissue injuries. Can barely put a few games together, so that's really worrying for Cordwell. So he might just be a flat out trap. But yeah, he just needs to stay fit for for 6 weeks, and he'll probably make 200k plus. Daicos Horne-Francis. So Daicos is definitely better than Horne-Francis in terms of scoring and role. Better player is very much debatable, but yeah, Horne-Francis, huge impact player up forward, and yeah, is good in the midfield when he gets the chance there. But I think Daicos will be off half back and accumulating a lot more. So yeah, happy to field those two. Very comfortable fielding Daicos. I think Horne-Francis, we might get a few poor ones in there just because of his role. But yeah, has a high ceiling, so might have a spike game, which would be nice for us. The next one, so O'Driscoll and Connor McDonald. So I do have the money to get to Josh Ward if I want to, one of McDonald or Ward, but McDonald's numbers are a little bit better than Ward, and from what I'm reading, he's been outperforming Ward a little bit at training. So put Connor McDonald here for now, but yeah, very much wait and see. And then move on to the rucks and forward line. So I have Grundy. I think Grundy's sounds like he's going to bounce back. Probably thought he was going to bounce back last year, which he kind of did. It's just maybe after the neck injury, he struggled a little bit. Maybe wasn't as motivated later in the season as well. But yeah, happy to lock him in. And then Riley O'Brien having a massive preseason. I think Gawn's still a great pick, but it's hard to justify given Jackson's emergence and the trend that's happening with the ruck time of those two. So yeah, Gawn's is going down and Jackson's is going up. So don't really want to pay 900k for that, but Riley O'Brien still has a better buy as well. So maybe we can trade him very, very late in the season to Gawn or something. But for the most part, I think I'm probably going to keep Riley O'Brien for the year. But yeah, having a big preseason and played through injury all last year. So that's the upside with him. Charlie Comben in the rucks, I don't know who we're going to get. I to be honest, I think we'll end up getting nobody. But we'll see. And then the forward line, so I think Dunkley, I'm the biggest fan of Dunkley. I could not pick him at that price. All he does is train all the time, non-stop. His work ethic is too unbelievable. So yeah, he's got a few durability issues in terms of, popped his shoulder and then landed awkwardly on his ankle a few years ago. But you don't really want to be sitting there. Like, every time he's been given even a bit of mid minutes and been fully fit, he's just exploded, and that's what's happening in the preseason. So fully fit, I fully expect him to get at least 40% CBAs, which is what he got last year. He can go 120, 115. He'll piss that in. He's locked for me. And then my 3 value forwards who I'm picking as keepers. So in this slot, Coniglio, Taron Thomas is there, De Goey's there. See how they go over the next few weeks. I like Coniglio. Coniglio played pretty bad the last 2 years, but basically he's been training 80% in the midfield, and I think they want him in the midfield, and he says he's got his confidence back and he's got trust in his body back. So potentially could be a bargain, but is he still that guy anymore? I think he's primed to be the old Coniglio, or close to it. So I just need to see it in the preseason, and if I see it, I'll happily pick Cogs. And then Butters and Heaney. So yeah, these 2 are completely locked for me. Butters is going to get more CBAs. He's a midfielder now. Fully expect him to get, 45 to 60 or 45 to 75% CBAs every game, somewhere in between there. Probably more likely around 55-ish, 60 probably. They got a few guys that want to rotate there, something like that. But look, he's a star. Full preseason. Kenny Hinkley's super excited for him this year. So yeah, all you hear is unbelievable things about Butters. And then Heaney, yeah, he's a midfielder now. So no Callum Mills, no Rowbottom, so they're injured at the moment. They want to move Kennedy out the middle, but he probably needs to stay there for a while given their injuries. So it's Heaney and Warner and Parker in there, probably Josh Kennedy, I guess. So yeah, easy pick at 630k. Again, the durability risk of these guys is pretty bad, but I mean, the durability is pretty bad for everyone, except for maybe Taron Thomas, who did miss almost an entire year though. So I guess it depends how you want to spin it. They're all got issues, but they can all outperform their price quite easily. So I guess I'm happy to take those sort of risks because I think everyone has a risk. Cam Rayner, Charlie Curnow. So Rayner is, I think, it sounds like he's going to play 50-50 mid and forward. So not sold on him just yet. I need to see it. Again, with Rayner, important thing is, what's his fitness like? Is he able to run out games really well? Is he going to have like 75 to 80% time on ground? Is it going to be lower? These are things that I don't know yet. So very much a watch, but by all reports, he's tearing it up and racking up disposals in intra-clubs. So wait and see. And Charlie Curnow, 350k. So one where I think we're in big trouble for 190k rookies. So I've spent up quite a lot everywhere, even on the bench. But yeah, Curnow had one of probably the standout from what we're reading at Carlton intra clubs. And yeah, full preseason, I think he can go in the 70s somewhere for that price. I don't know, what does he make? 200k or something. Just check him on field all the time. So no rookie roulette, hopefully. So yeah, happy to pick him. And then the bench. So Hugo Ralphsmith, did watch him in the intra club at Richmond, playing halfback. So clear role change. Got to be careful with him just because, first of all, he has to make it to the round one team, but he played so well, I think he will. But second of all, the coach did say that, he can play half forward, he can play wing, he can play half back. It could be a Jordan Clark type scenario where he plays half back in the preseason games, and then in the actual season, they think, we're kind of happy with our defenders at the moment. You have to play half forward for now. So yeah, if that's the case, he's probably not going to make too much money, but if he's got that halfback role, he will make serious money. So definitely one I am keen on. And in terms of rookies at this slot, there's literally nothing, I think, at this point. So look, Sam De Koning's key defender. He's not one I'd want to start with, but that's all we got. And then Harry Sharp was in the A team for Brisbane's intra club, so see how that goes. So that's the team so far. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.